Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of NOSTALgufish. This is the series where we revisit some of the older guitars in my collection, and right here is a very, very special one. This absolute beauty is my first electric guitar ever. It's a Squier Bullet Strat. It's probably very similar to a lot of other people's first guitars as well. The looks, the stickers, even down to it being completely unplayable at the moment. So I've been thinking, let's do something about that. Let's go back to where it all started, to the beginning of my guitar adventure, and rebuild this guitar. Let's take a closer look. Now this guitar is a weird one because it's not like any Bullet Strat that I've come across in the US. I got it from a store called Best Friend Music in Shanghai, and it was like the only store in the area that was actually a licensed Fender dealer. My parents bought it for me. It was 800 RMB, which at the time was 2006, 2007, so it was about $100. Now, I have not seen a Bullet Strat anywhere else that has an HSS pickup configuration with a maple board and a full-sized Strat body. Most of the Bullets and Affinities, which are Squier's most affordable series, have slightly thinner bodies. This is also not super light. We can double check as we open it up, but I think it might actually be proper alder. But the main reason I want to bring it back is because the neck is incredible. It's got this nice, thin, modern C, and it's been really well oiled. It's got this nice, dark color you don't normally see on affordable maple necks. Usually they're much lighter in color, and it's smooth. It feels so much nicer than the one on my Hello Kitty, which is based on the Affinity platform. That one feels more satiny than oiled. The Bullet neck actually feels very similar to the neck on my American Professional 2, believe it or not. Maybe that's just because I played the shit out of it and all the oil from my gross hands softened the neck finish. Who knows? But the other crazy thing about this is that all these years of neglect later, there's still no fret sprout. Anyway, the point is this thing is begging to be played. Clearly though, it's missing a couple of things. Strings, obviously. For some reason, we've only got 2 pickguard screws. I have no idea what happened to the other ones, so we're gonna have to do something about that. And also, we've got a big hole where the bridge pickup should be. This originally came with Squier pickups, and they were pretty awful. The bridge especially, it was your typical cheap ceramic humbucker. Really harsh, really tinny, basically everything you don't want combined into one pickup. So a couple of years back, I replaced them with the Hammerhead set from Buddha Pickups. They're hand-wound, made in America. Tim is a mad scientist when it comes to this stuff. We put in vintage-inspired single coils and a custom-designed humbucker with an Alnico bar magnet combined with ceramic flankers. Aged nickel cover too. The thing looked sick, and most importantly, sounded amazing. So much so, I ended up taking it out, sending it to Korea, and we used that as the base for the Seraphim set that shipped with my signature Harley Benton. And then when they were done, rather than sending it back, they just lost it. And so that is where we're at with this guitar. So what else needs doing? Well, the tuners and bridge are still the stock Squier hardware. And remember, we're not talking modern day Squier hardware. We're talking Squier from 15 years ago, and they have come a long way. These are basically pig iron parts. The tuners are squeaky and jumpy, the bridge feels really light, and I think it's holding this guitar back from its full chug potential. The cheap plastic nut has got to go. Bad nuts are always a bummer. And when I replaced the pickups, I actually didn't replace the rest of the electronics, and last I plugged this in, I'm actually amazed they lasted this long, but yeah, you could tell the pots were starting to go. Then of course the frets probably need a little bit of polishing to get it all feeling real nice. All in all, a lot of work, but this should be a ton of fun, and we'll have a great little hot rod at the end. So let's get to work. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the reason this is gone is because I really don't like where the volume pot is on Strats. So I just removed one of the tones, so it's now just master volume, master tone. Eddie Van Halen actually did something similar, except that he didn't even bother with the tone knob. What a legend. All right, here it is. It's looking kind of Pringle.
Is it tasty, Pringle?
It's looking pretty sorry. Let's take it apart. Okay, so not off to the best start. This nut has been mad super glued in there. So I used a knife to get under there and then hammer some of it out. Then I ended up cutting myself, and I only have these Peppa Pig band-aids. Mortal enemy of the Chinese Communist Party. Fight the power. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go buy some nail polish remover to get that out. In the meantime, let's take all this out. You win this round, nut. actually the switch doesn't feel that bad. These pots though. Can you tell this is one of the first times that I tried soldering by myself? Wow. Yeah, so these are gonna have to go, but that might be completely my fault. Oh shit, I forgot I did this. So basically, I was getting a lot of ring from the springs, and I just tied a hair tie around them as kind of a dampener. I love re-exploring old guitars like this. Totally forgot I did that, but it works. I did not do this, I swear.
I did not.
But what's interesting is that I don't think that this is poplar. All the poplar I've seen has been super light colored, and this is quite dark. So yeah, I don't know what wood that is. What do you guys think? Wow, I hated that. That was so stupid. Alright, here it is. It's kind of a mess, but it's all disassembled. Let's see what's going in now. So I'm keeping the Buddha singles that I already had in here. Oh, it's really a shame. The gold writing seems to have come off. Like, it used to say what these were, what the resistance values were. I think it's like 10 something, hard to tell. This one's a little better, but like 0.7 maybe?
Heartbreaker.
For tuners, you guessed it. Hipshot, open gear, locking tuners. They're literally my favorite locking tuners on the market. I am nothing if not consistent. These are the staggered ones too, so we don't need the string trees. And it comes with the easy mounting kit. That's cool. Obviously, we need a bridge humbucker. Buddha has been kind enough to send out a replacement. There it is, Hammerhead, output 14.2, and that's his email, so you can hit him up if you want some custom pickups. I love brush chrome covers and Strats. Immediately you know it's a hot rod. For the bridge, this time I'm actually not going with Hipshot. I'm trying out this Godot trem. It's the 510T. I'm pretty sure that was the one on the Charvel DK24 HSS that I liked so much, so I thought I'd throw it into this guitar. 6-screw version, so it should be a direct drop-in replacement. One of the springs came out in shipping, just wiggling around in there. Obviously, shout out to the Nutmasters. They had to be involved. For wiring, I'm not sure where these came from. I'm not sure how I got these, but Switchcraft output jack, and I think the switch is also Switchcraft. No idea where this capacitor is from, but I like the way it looks, so I'm gonna throw it in. Maybe one of you can tell me where it's from. All I really know is that the value is 0.022. And then for pots, I kind of messed up. So these are the only high quality metric pots that I have at the moment. The Korean alpha pots, maybe? I don't know. They feel nice. They've got a good resistance to them, and one's even push-pull. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 of these and wire this up into a 1 volume, 1 tone with the bridge push-pull so we can split the humbucker. At least that's the idea. These coming out of the ML2 Pro, they're also 500K. Usually you'd want 250 for single coils, but basically I'm wiring this up with the main emphasis on the humbucker for the Chugs. So I think I'm gonna start with the tuners because that should be the easiest part, and we'll work our way from there. Let's do this. Look at that. That just looks so fucking classy. I mean, it doesn't even matter what guitar you put these on. It just makes it all instantly look so much better. I guess next I'll do the wiring, because that's the next most fun thing. I also love how with Strats, you don't need to use like the cardboard trick that I did with the 10S. Because you can wire up everything on the pick guard, make sure it works before dropping it back into the guitar. It's not like the Les Paul where you have to use like the cardboard to build a harness to drop in, and then it may or may not work once you get everything connected. This diagram should work. Guys, Seymour Duncan has the best wiring diagrams on the internet, trust me. This is the only one I could find with 3 pickups and 1 volume, 1 tone push-pull. It should be simple enough to swap out the neck humbucker with a single, or it'll be a complete failure. All right, wish me luck. Wow, I am so trash at wire management. TSA, look away. You know what though? I'm all about function over form actually. I'm really more results oriented. Shut the fuck up, Hunter. Alright, so I was not able to find where I put the rest of the pickguard screws, so I'm still gonna try to find them. I'm sure they're somewhere around here. But until then, 2 works, right? Don't answer that. We moved. So all the electronics work. I tested it with a screwdriver. The only issue is that the push-pull pot was too tall. So the volume knob isn't flush with the pickguard, which looks pretty janky. But on the other hand, it makes it easier to operate the push-pull. Listen, the electronics work. I'm taking this as a win. I'm dumb. Okay, so I'm sure some of you might have caught this when I was going through the parts that I was going to be using. I totally wasn't thinking. I was thinking Fender with metric parts is a Fender with metric parts. Nah, so the string spacing and fit of the bridge is all wrong. It's like I bought the only 6-string tremolo on the market that won't work with this guitar. So it's okay. This is still an awesome trem. I can use it on a lot of other projects. Shame, I really wanted to use it for this one. So instead, I went over to Sam Ash and I got this official Fender replacement bridge. Bridge actually looks and feels really nice. Usually it's $29.99 before tax, but they're homies, so I have to be honest, they did throw me a little bit of a discount. As you can see, I only paid $29.10. Hey man, unprecedented times. Every cent counts. Now, compared to the other one, you can already tell, like, look at that trem block and how much bigger it is than the Squier one on the left. Saddles also look much nicer and more substantial. And remember, usually with bullets, you can't use the full-sized Fender trem blocks. The bodies are too thin, but with this one, I mean, just drops right in. Just remember, this is a crazy full-thickness one that Fender says shouldn't exist. The only issue are the mounting holes are a little off, so I'm gonna have to plug them and re-drill. Now, you might have heard of the toothpick and superglue method, but I've actually heard that there's a better way. Instead of toothpicks, you can use bamboo skewers. So the idea is you put superglue on the end of these, and because they widen out, you can stick them in and have a perfectly plugged hole. Plus, bamboo is way tougher and harder than whatever they use in toothpicks. Never tried it before, really curious how it works. So since I'm plugging holes anyways, I thought I'd try it out. If you're thinking like this would be more expensive than toothpicks, don't worry, 100 of these was like $1 from Kroger. So yeah, let's get this bridge installed. And there we go. We are done. Well, kind of done. So I wasn't thinking about the switch tip. Turns out that import switch tips, the holes in them, are really small. That does not fit. Also, I forgot to buy masking tape and rough sandpaper. So I kind of did like a light DIY scraping with the rough side of a Scotch-Brite sponge. You can see it's not really flush, but I didn't want to go too rough with the Scotch-Brite and potentially accidentally damage the neck. And of course, we still don't have all the pickguard screws, so the jankiness level is still fairly high. And you know what? If I was doing this for like a friend or something, then I would totally wait and get a new switch tip, get masking tape, sandpaper, extra pickguard screws. Extra, what am I talking about? This needs the standard amount of pickguard screws. But you know what, with this guitar, jankiness is already part of the theme, and it's my own guitar. I'm the only one that's gonna be playing it, so it's more chill. And right now, all I really wanna do is play it. So I'm gonna polish the body a little bit, clean the fretboard, because they're both looking kinda gross, then string it up and have an absolute chug fest with it. I've also noticed these scratches in it for some reason. I have no idea what happened to this, but it looks intentional. I am actually clueless as to what has happened here, but I think I've got the perfect solution. High integrity, baby. By the way, high integrity sticker comes with every merch order. Helps the channel. Let's get this cleaned up and put some strings on. Right, Brickle. Good girl. All right, tone test, here we go. This is not bad. I forgot how much fun this guitar was. Like, I remember learning Fat Lip on this thing. Like, I remember looking at the tab and I was like, drop D? What is drop D? You can do that? Try all the different pickups though. So this is the full humbucker. Then split. It's nice and clanky. Something I never got about Strats and why I generally don't play HSS. Like these middle positions, what is the point? Like they're just so thin sounding, the volume drop is massive. Could also be I wired it up wrong, I don't know. Not having a pickup selector tip kinda sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Isn't it funny how when you pick up a guitar you haven't played in a while, it kind of brings back all the riffs that you learned to play on that guitar? Now, I was gonna write something new with this, but all this nostalgia's got me thinking. Just like every other guitarist on the planet, I've got loads of unfinished ideas from like 10 years ago. So I'm gonna look through the archive of like GarageBand files and iPhone notes and see what I can find. Hopefully actually complete this time. Before we do that, speaking of complete, wouldn't it be great if there was a complete service to upload and share your music to all the major distribution platforms? Oh wait, there is one. Well, kind of. They're always adding new features, but let's take a quick second and thank the sponsor of today's video, DistroKid. So DistroKid, as you may or may not know, depending on how much YouTube you watch, is the easiest way to get your music onto Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, all the other ones I'm forgetting about. It's super easy to upload a song with album art and sync to lyrics with just a few clicks. Once it's done processing, it's there. It's that simple. And if it's a cover, they'll even help get the license. And as I mentioned, they're always adding new features to improve the service as well. One of my favorites is this new mini video feature. Pick one of your songs, pick a template. I love this wacky waving inflatable tube man one. Hit generate, and there, you've got a quick teaser video for your new single you can post on social media. So if you want to see why so many musicians trust DistroKid for their music distribution needs, head on over to distrokid.com/VIP/Agufish or use the link in the description. Pricing starts at just $20 a year for unlimited uploads, and using the links you even get 7% off, I think. Yeah, 7%, so you save some money. While you're checking that out, let's jump into the demo track. actually, we're not done. There's one more thing that I want to do. So this is a Fishman TriplePlay. Shout out to my buddy Ken Susi for sending this over. And this is a really cool piece of gear because this turns your guitar into a MIDI device. If you don't know what that means or don't know what, quite frankly, astounding amount of possibilities that opens up for this guitar, let's install it and I'll show you. Okay, so it's installed and it allows you to do crazy stuff like, I don't know, write a trance song with your guitar. Or like Russian EDM for no reason. Obviously, you can do much more than that, but for now, that's where I'm gonna leave it. So here it is in all its glory. Technically, my very first electric guitar. So let's recap. This was originally a $100 Squier Strat. We added hip shot, open gear locking tuners, a Tusk nut from Graphtech, custom wound Buddha pickups, a mix of Switchcraft and high quality Korean electronic components, and a Fishman TriplePlay MIDI controller. And even after all these years, the frets weren't too terrible for the most part. Most just needed a light polishing. There are some pretty noticeable dents in the first fret. The material isn't great quality. They'll need replacing in the long term. Maybe stainless steel frets, I don't know. So much has been replaced. It's a Ship of Theseus situation, but the neck is so good. It's got the big 70s headstock still. It's the skate stickers from middle school. The whole thing is an absolute vibe. A lot of the original soul is intact. And I love how it's an example of Fender just saying, okay, so what spare parts do we have? Maple neck, random full thickness body. All right, just throw an HSS pickguard on there and let's call it a bullet Strat. Why not? There's still a little work to be done. The nut should be sanded more flush. It needs a switch tip because this is pretty uncomfortable. We're still missing most of the pickguard screws and I guess strap locks would be nice. For now, it's more than playable though. Technically, it's a more complete project than Cyberpunk 2077 on the Xbox One and PS4, so I'm taking that as a win. But yeah, it's just cool that this guitar has been with me for so long and it's still kicking. I mean, you can get a Les Paul Custom or an Eastman or a PRS Core, and those are objectively great heirloom level guitars. But there's something special about giving your first guitar new life. Anyways, that's how I feel about it. That's it for this video, but I want to hear from you. What's your first guitar? Do you still have it? Do you still play it? Have you done any mods? Really curious how your first guitar has held up. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We're approaching 100K, so that really helps out. Also, tick the bell for notifications, that way you get notified for every new upload. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video, which I believe is a massive unboxing. See you then.